is the womb that bore you, and the breasts that you sucked.
The voice of millions of television network team went to Jerusalem recently. We went to Bethlehem, where Christ was born. We also went to Nazareth, where he was brought up. We also visited the areas and the altar where he faced crucifixion at the hands of the Roman governor in Jerusalem. We are bringing out this message of the great prophet of the time to the world which is today divided in hostile blocks, ideologically, politically. There are international conflicts which are threatening the world existence. Jerusalem is one of them. His message, the message of Jesus Christ, is much more relevant today to the world, and particularly to young people of the world who are today facing a culture of violence, hatred, conflict, and tension. Let the world, and particularly the young people of the world, understand that Christ faced crucifixion only when he was in 30s. His message is important and great to all of us who want to live in a better world, in a peaceful world, in human dignity and glory for all mankind.
After 3 years of public involvement in Galilee, Jesus comes to Jerusalem, the sacred city of his people. Looking down upon the city, he wept, saying, "If you only knew today what is needed for peace, but now you cannot see it. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you kill the prophets, you stone the messengers God sent you. How many times I wanted to put my arms around all your people, just as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings. But you would not let me." The Holy Sepulchre, the church built upon the small rocky hill on which Jesus was crucified, condemned as a political agitator and criminal by Pilate, the colonial governor of this province, at the instigation of the religious and socio-political leaders of his people. The place of the crucifixion just beneath the image of Jesus on the cross. Beside this cross, the image of Mary, who was Jesus' mother, and who stood watching her son die in such a shameful way. We go back to Nazareth, where Jesus grew up and lived for about 30 years in a carpenter's home. He had experienced God as unconditional love, a love for all, especially those in greatest need. And he understood that he was chosen by God to play an extraordinary role in the history of his people and human history. He spent a period of time struggling against evil, alone in silence with God, totally committing himself to the responsible mission with which he was entrusted, taken up with teaching around the Lake of Galilee, healing the poor and needy, those oppressed by spirits, and giving public affirmation to the dignity of all, especially those despised by society. He challenged the distortions of religious teaching and practice, the corrupting power of money, and the misuse of authority. Before the beginning of the new year, Christians celebrate with great joy Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. And their brothers and sisters from all sections of society take equal pride in celebrating this great occasion. According to the Gospels, Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the ancient city made famous by David This is Manger Square and the Church of the Nativity. This church was originally built by Helena, the mother of the Emperor Constantine, and dedicated on the 31st of May, 339. In the year 529, the Emperor Justinian rebuilt the church, which has remained basically the same until today. The church itself reflects centuries of history, of invasions and occupations of Palestine, that Joseph, with his wife Mary, who was pregnant, came to this town to register in a census. And as the local inn was crowded, they stayed in this cave. The beautiful pillars of limestone probably were used in the original church. This church is built upon a series of caves on a slight hill. And in one of these caves, Jesus was born. This sacred cave, which after the expulsion of the Jews and Christians from Bethlehem in the year 135 by the Roman Emperor Hadrian, became the center of worship for other religious groups. However, when the Christian religion was accepted as a legitimate religion, on this sacred place the church was built, and this cave became the center of pilgrimage and devotion until today. Into a simple, poor, and lowly family, Jesus was born and remained the poor man. He was at home with and deeply concerned about and committed to the poor, the oppressed and neglected. Some aspects of his teaching have become part of the religious heritage of the human family and are followed by millions the world over. Blessed are the poor, the kingdom of heaven is yours. Blessed are you who are hungry now, you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, you will laugh. That in the year 7 BC, when the cruel Herod was king of Israel, another woman, Mariam, joyfully gazed upon her child, Jesus, in this place. That mother is the symbol of the dignity of woman and the creative power of love, while the child symbolizes hope and the dignity of every human person. Let us hope that this dignity be not brutalized by any more crucifixions, but that the words of Jesus echo in our land and world. Peace be to you.